What if the very thing stealing your energy is in your pocket right now? There's been so many moments where I open Instagram or YouTube, not because I had something I was going to create, but because I felt off or behind. Or like maybe somebody else had the answer that I didn't. I was seeking something outside of myself. But over time, I started to notice something. The more I scrolled, the less I trusted myself. The more I consumed, the harder it became to create. Was I really looking for inspiration or was I looking for permission? Was I hoping that somebody else's content would give me the courage to start my own? Have you ever gotten lost in consuming content and felt more stuck and overwhelmed than when you started? What I found when I was consuming content was I was getting to the point where I was waiting for permission from somebody else, and I was hoping somebody else would give me the answers. But really, I had to look within and find the answers within myself in order to move forward with content creation. In order to move forward within a painting, I had to find that within myself and the courage and to put the hours in if I want to get results like that as well. Come with me and let me show you what I do to reset when the noise gets too loud. Out here, there's no algorithm. There's just instinct. Now, before I open any app, especially on social media, I ask myself, am I here to consume or create? There's nothing wrong with consumption, just like there's nothing wrong with rest. But if you're only consuming, your ideas aren't getting any air. They suffocate beneath the scroll. I believe that most of us aren't uninspired. We're just overstimulated. And underneath all of that stimulation is sitting some of the best ideas that have never had the chance to come to life. I don't know about you, but for me, it's one of my favorite feelings, putting something out there and then seeing others recreate what I've created. And by not trying to replicate what others are producing, by creating my own original content, then I know when to separate because I can see the idea that I had created. Whether they found it from me or not, it's cool to see the ripple effect of the influence. I make something that's purely mine, or I know the originality came purely from me. It brings it so much more life and joy. It doesn't feel like a replication. It feels like its own living entity at that point. Let's bring this clarity back into the studio. What would your life look like if it started from you and not from somebody else's feed? Okay, so full transparency. My phone is always in my studio. I use it for my reference photos and I use it for my music. But that doesn't mean or give me permission to then be on Instagram all the time instead of moving and doing my work outside of social media. Sometimes my best content ideas hit me right here on the canvas. It isn't about perfection. It's about presence and practice. It's about learning to notice the difference between, am I reaching for my phone because I'm in flow and I have an idea that I want to put in here? Or am I reaching for my phone because I'm in a really tricky part of this painting and I'm trying to distract myself? There's a subtle difference between inspiration and distraction. So I've started practicing this. If a content idea is coming to me while I'm painting, I'll speak it into a voice note or jot it down in my notes. I'll give myself visual cues or auditory cues to then remind me later of what I was thinking and what I want to then create. Then I return to the canvas, catching the idea to put it in a place where I can nurture it then when the time is appropriate. It almost adds energy and clarity to the idea, like a gestation period, allowing the idea to mature. Not everything has to be finished right now. Sometimes just capturing the essence of it is enough. When an idea comes to me, it's like a fire, a spark. And there are times where I feel that if I don't get it down somewhere quick enough, it will escape me. Like I have to, Peter Pan catching his shadow, trying to wrestle it back to him. And if I'm able to capture these ideas, then I'm able to grow on them and create them later without distracting myself or taking me away from the main thing. And in doing this, it allows me to have constant and consistent art creation as well as content creation. And that content creation isn't taking me away from the art piece. So the question comes down to, like, how can you hold them both? Creative flow and focused devotion without losing either of them. By creating spaces that are safe and I know that those ideas can then be used later, it allows me to release the panic or the anxiety around losing a creative being in a way. And by doing that and giving yourself that safety and security, knowing that that idea is safe, it is, if it is truly meant to come into creation, and you can trust that, then it's easy to maintain your current flow and not get distracted into something else. What's one container you can create to capture those creative sparks? Comment below. Let me know. Is it going to be an old-fashioned paper notebook, or are you going to go digital nomad style? So here's your invitation. Before you scroll, create one thing first. A note, a sketch, a list, a voice memo. Anything that puts you back in the seat of your own creativity. If you're in, comment below. Create first. Let's reclaim our rhythm together. Share with a friend you'd like to join you on this journey. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked this and want to see more of it. Subscribe to my channel. It's fucking awesome.